Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to UFC Fight Night 146. We are about to get straight into our first fight, and I can tell you that it is Tim Boetsch, who is in there against Akhmedov, and they're just doing the introductions at the moment. We are on the main card. We've skipped the prelims. We're just going to focus on the main card. Super excited for the main event. Derrick Lewis back in action. Big Derrick Lewis fan. Really hope he gets victory tonight. Not sure where he will go moving forward. Obviously, he's already fought Cormier and came up well short. But well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Not sure he will get the victory tonight, but never count Derrick Lewis out. But you probably might count out Boetsch because he is the heavy underdog going into this. It's going to be quite an interesting contest. Let's see if he's still got the heart and the hunger for this. He says he is. He's bobbing around from side to side. Let me know in the chat, who do you think's going to win this fight? Both guys same size. You've got Akhmedov in the white, Boetsch in the black. And he's just holding the middle ground at the moment. Hello everyone in the chat. Hello Rebecca Hendrick. How you doing? Thank you very much to Fortnite King. Just working our way through this undercard as we get to the main event of tonight's show, which is going to be Derrick Lewis. Ooh, nice kick there by Akhmedov. Just came out of nowhere. He's got Tim Boetsch up against the side of the cage. He's firing in a few shots to the body. Got him pinned up. We've already had a minute of this. There's not a great deal going on at the moment. They're just jockeying for position. Akhmedov is definitely controlling it though. It got him. No, they're tussling. Hey, how you doing? Boetsch KO, you think? Akhmedov is definitely controlling this at the moment. Akhmedov firing in a few knees. Tim Boetsch firing a few back, but at the moment they're just in the clinch up against the cage. Really not much to this in the first couple of minutes. They're just jockeying for position. Who do you think is going to win? I think Akhmedov will win this one. He's the favourite for this, and he is dominating this. When it comes to the main event, I'm rooting for Derrick Lewis, but I've got a horrible feeling that Derrick Lewis might just come up short. I don't know. I don't know. In fact, it's a really interesting card. It's a very difficult card to call, and we're kind of seeing that here. There's not a great deal of action in this. Akhmedov is jockeying for position, but wasn't able to get anything. Both guys go back to the center now. Still nothing. This is a slow fight. This is not a great opener at all. I've been watching you for 2 years. Awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. We're going to be live streaming all future UFC events. I want to be doing them weekly, the weekly shows, because I watch them anyway. So I'm quite happy to live stream them. Of course, Fastlane, WWE Fastlane tomorrow. That is going to be absolutely huge. Super excited for that. I can tell you are missing absolutely nothing with this fight. There's no contact. They're both just feeling each other out. Firing in a couple of shots, but nothing really connecting. I would imagine there's very little in the way of significant strikes at the moment. We are in round 1. And it has been an awful, awful round. A truly awful round. It's coming forward. Tim Boetsch, but can't connect with anything. I really thought Akhmedov was going to test him more. I really did. This has just been a horrible first round for both guys. Kind of feeling each other out at this stage. Nice little combo, though, by Akhmedov. Not sure how much connected. But again, no contact at the moment. Nice! Went for a takedown, Akhmedov. Went for a double leg takedown, but couldn't get it executed. We're approaching the final 10 seconds of the round. Nice right hand from Akhmedov. It's an Akhmedov round. But Boetsch just... He's not done anything. That was an awful round from Boetsch. Absolutely awful. It was a pretty awful round from both guys, to be honest. Not a great deal for the highlight package there, unfortunately. Shave your beard. That's the main talking point at the moment. If they're not going to give us the action on there, then people will get distracted by other beautiful things like my beard. I'm just trying to hear what they're saying to Boetsch. They're telling him to be careful if he's getting pushed up against the cage. Because they're saying he's trying to tire you out. Where can you watch it? I think it's on ESPN, I believe. So, ESPN, I believe. Here in the UK, it is on BT Sport. That was the first round, and it was absolutely horrible. But we are going into round 2. Again, slow to come out the blocks. They're just feeling each other out at the moment still. They can't keep doing this, though. They're going to run out of time. This does have a feeling that it's going to go the distance. Nice. Akhmedov at least trying to throw some stuff. Not much coming from Boetsch. Went for a kick but couldn't land. Boetsch is trying now. Coming forward a little bit more. I'll fight you in an MMA fight. I'm alright, thank you. Boetsch has got a bad nose now. That's I can't tell if it's a breakage. Certainly has been hit with something there. I think they're saying that it is a broken nose. Wow, they're saying that the bridge of the nose has caved in. He's going to feel that in the morning. Very little of note in this round as well, guys. We're into the second round. The only real talking point at the moment is the fact that Boetsch appears to have a broken nose now. There's very little that's landing and connecting. Clearly something's got through. We're just coming up to the halfway point of this. And, oh, yes, you can see it now. It does look nasty. It does look nasty. You can't quite see it from the side, but just occasionally you see him face on. That is definitely going to affect his breathing. Surely Akhmedov is going to sense blood now, quite literally. Hello, Deacon Collins. Hope you're well, my friend. Thank you for joining us with this Fight Night 146. Obviously, we got Derrick Lewis. Real great fighter, Derrick Lewis. I just love his fights. So explosive. Obviously, though, we've already said he came up short against Cormier, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens tonight. So, very excited for that. At the moment, we got Boetsch in there against Akhmedov. And I would say it's all Akhmedov at the moment. Boetsch has got a busted nose. And honestly, this is an awful fight. It's an awful fight. There's really not a great deal going on. At the moment, Boetsch is pinned up against the octagon. Akhmedov is firing in a knee. Horrible. Horrible. Hello, Ken Langfowler. Hope you are well. Daniel Cena Jones. Hope you're well as well, my friend. Shout out to you. I watch UFC pretty much every week. And now we've started live streaming on YouTube. I thought we would start live streaming it, covering it. I actually, for some reason, thought this was on tomorrow. So I thought I was going to have to miss it because of WWE Fastlane. Obviously, we are covering WWE Fastlane. So, yes, we will be back tomorrow for the bigger event. But this is still very, very interesting. Just having a look now, see what the ref's doing. Ref just separated them for a moment. They've gone straight back into the clinch. They're still up against the cage. We've got 30 seconds left of this second round, and it is a horrible fight. It is a horrible fight. If you wanted explosive, if you wanted action, this is not the fight to watch. Akhmedov has got Boetsch pinned up against the cage, just fired in a shoulder, but that's the end of the second round. And that is dull. Let me tell you, that is a dull fight so far. Hopefully they can pick it up in the third and give us a little bit of action. It's a really interesting card, though, as we've already said, because a lot of this card is quite close. There's a lot of matches here that are very much 50-50. They could go any which way. I've gone with Akhmedov for this, and I'm quietly confident that he's going to pick up the victory here. He's dominated the fight so far. They're just showing a close-up of Boetsch's nose, and it is a mess. I think that's the shot. There's a replay there. It is just a right that comes straight down the middle. That's what seems to have done the damage. The commentator's saying most likely is going to need surgery on that. So, kind of crazy. That shot kind of came out of nowhere. There was a lot that wasn't connecting. But that right just straight down the middle. Boetsch now, I think, knows if he wants to win this, he's going to have to go for it. Certainly he's come out a little bit more aggressive in this round. A couple of shots coming in from Akhmedov. A kick from Boetsch. Nice right hook from Akhmedov. This is better already. We're 30 seconds in, and this is already much better. Both guys, though, in the centre. Pace dropping away a little. They're still trying to feel each other out. I mean, the thing is that Akhmedov, I think, knows he's already got this one. so he doesn't really need to force the fight. I think Boetsch is definitely on the front foot in this third round, but I don't know if he's got the tools to really hurt Akhmedov. PewDiePie versus T-Series, yes. I haven't actually seen the latest on that. The last I saw, there was like 20,000 in it. It was next to nothing. Still not a great deal happening in this fight. Akhmedov firing in some shots. Yeah, very good combination. Boetsch at least, though, still coming forward. I think there's a cut on the side of Boetsch's eye as well now. But Boetsch still coming forward. Akhmedov swinging back. We are approaching the final 3 minutes, so hopefully this is going to be explosive. Akhmedov, as we said, doesn't need to go for it, but there's definitely blood coming down from the side of the eye now of Boetsch. He's busted his nose. The side of his face has gone. At the moment, he is a well-beaten man. Akhmedov with a beautiful left-right combination, but I'm not sure how much of that connected. A lot of that connected, though, from Akhmedov. Still, though, no one can land that knockout punch as we approach the halfway mark in this round. Days, I got the top picks Finn Balor today. That's a very cool figure, dude. That's very cool. That's his WrestleMania attire. So I am hashtag jealous. Nice shots in there from Akhmedov. Boetsch still the aggressor here. And his face is still a mess. It's 40,000 now. Alright, okay. I didn't know that. Very cool. Oh, here we go. Look, Akhmedov has got... Oh. He was just teeing off on him then. But you can see Boetsch is struggling here with his vision. He keeps, like, squinting because he's got blood coming out from the side of his eye. There's every chance his eye is closing up on him. He's clearly struggling with breathing. Akhmedov just doing enough. I think this is definitely a Boetsch round. But it's not a Boetsch fight, as we are approaching the final minute. Akhmedov just backing away. Nice. Shots coming in. And again. Ban the links. It's close to impossible. You ban some and then others appear. So I try not to worry about it too much. Couple of shots coming in from Akhmedov as we approach the final 30 seconds. Looks like we're going to decision. Looks like Akhmedov is going to be winning this. You've got to say, though, well done to Boetsch because he seemed well beaten all throughout the first and second rounds. Appears to have had his nose broken. He's got blood coming down the side of his face. Yet he has definitely been the one coming forward in this round and actually is looking for a takedown attempt now. He's only got like 10 seconds. He's firing a few shots into the body, but it's not enough. It goes the distance. And we'll get the official decision next. Shout out to Ben Russell. Jose David Soler. How are you, my friend? You heard it was the Hardy Boys and the Usos at WrestleMania 35. Yeah, I could see that happening. I'd be down for that. I think that would be a great match. Hopefully Derrick Lewis is going to put on a great main event for us tonight as well. As I said earlier, I'm a big Derrick Lewis fan. He's got great heart. He's been in some absolute wars, but his power, his power, it never leaves him. He's always got that knockout power. So, I mean, he's always going to be in with the chance. Again, I don't know if he wins tonight. But that's why we're watching. I want to see. I hope he does. I'll be cheering for Derrick Lewis tonight. We are just going back to the UFC just to get that official result. Let's see what it is that they've scored it. I saw someone asking for a shout-out. Ben Russell, shout-out. I feel like there was someone else. Might have missed. Unanimous. There we go. It is Akhmedov. Akhmedov picks up the victory. Oh, hello. What have we got now? We've got Dariush versus Dober. So, that wasn't the best of fights, to be honest. But Akhmedov gets the victory. Let me jot that in the ticker below. So, winners are Akhmedov. There we go. Days, I met Ric Flair, Honky Tonk Man Sting, and Shawn Michaels. Very cool. Shout out to Deacon Collins. Strickland Shane to WWE. Architect _ YT. Shout out to you. We've got Drew Dober making his way. Let me just change over the match stats. Let me tell you a little bit here. So, Dariush is 5'10", Dober 5'8". Dariush has got that 2-inch reach advantage and a 5.5-inch leg reach advantage as well. So Dariush certainly coming into this with a lot in his corner. Significant strikes. He's got more in his history. I think Dariush here is looking the better. They're just saying Drew Dober. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's got 6 first-round finishes, 8 wins by knockout, 5 by submission. Certainly not going to be a pushover. Let me know who you think is going to win in the chat. As we head towards that main event, Derrick Lewis versus JDS. Days, who should I draw? Whoever you want to draw, my friend. Whoever you want to draw. Dariush making his way out. Jose David Soler saying Dober. Deacon Collins saying Dariush. Dariush is just on the outside. He's made his ring walk. We should be underway with this. I'm going to go with Dariush. It's going to be, again, I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. DGF Jimmy, hello to you, my friend. Six first-round finishes, 3 wins by knockout, 6 by submission. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai black belt. Again, Dariush going in there with quite a few tools in his arsenal. Not only has he got all that, but he's got much better reach, better leg reach as well. But Dober's no pushover. It's going to be a good fight. I love your videos and I subscribe. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate it. Raymond Gaming, shout out to you. So they're just running through that tail of the tape. Both guys exactly the same weight, 156. But Dariush is 5'10". Dober is 5'8". We're just going over to the ring announcer. Hey Days, it's me, Dexter. Hello, my friend. Shout out to Skeleton Zombie. I can tell you that Dober is actually the underdog here. So, seems like Dariush is the favourite. $156 is heavy favourite, actually. What I don't understand, right, what I was just looking at, is Dariush has got a really interesting flag. Like, I don't know where he's from, but it says he's fighting out of California. But that's not a flag that I recognise. I've never seen the flag that was by his name before. I'll have to do some research there. As you can see, we are now live. Hopefully this is going to be better than the first fight, because that first fight was a sleeper. No two ways about it, but we're into the first. Whoa, nice left hand from Dariush. I really feel like we're getting a knockout here. I really feel like these two are going to go for this. I don't think this has got decision written all over it. I feel like one of these guys is going to pick up a victory. I've gone with Dariush, but Dober is definitely firing some shots in. He's actually occupying the middle ground, and these two are trading bombs here. Dober has got Dariush up against that cage. But Dariush managing to turn it around. This is already, first minute, this is way better than the first fight. Way better. And Dariush has got Dober up against that cage. Looks like he was just trying to take a little bit of sting out of that opener, because Dober really did come out of the blocks. And Dariush has got Dober up against that cage. It's just taking the sting out of this. Both guys break apart though. Let's see where they go from here. Dariush firing in a jab but not connecting. Fires in another jab. Follows it up with a kick. Goes for a head kick. He's got a nice arsenal here, Dariush. A lot that he can do. We know he's already got that reach advantage. The leg reach advantage. But don't count out Dober. Dober. These two, honestly, really trading some shots here. That was a great little flurry. Dober is definitely on the attack. Dober is on the hunt here. Dober is the one that's kind of coming forward. Dariush is not hiding or backtracking or anything like that, but very difficult to find an opening against someone that's like charging at you, keeps coming forward, keeps coming at you. He's got a very good defense, Dober. Dober occupying that middle ground. Both guys coming forward. Head kick from Dariush, but not really connecting. Really interesting round. Some big headshots from Dober. Dober firing in some headshots. He's got Dariush rocked. Dariush up against the cage. And they've gone into a clinch. I think this is what Dariush is going to need at the moment because just can't seem to make the most of that reach. Dober kind of fighting a little more on the inside, which is negating the reach of Dariush. Dariush now has turned it round. He's got Dober up against the cage. He was looking for a hip toss. He was looking for a takedown. We have got 1 minute 40 left in this round. Dariush firing in a couple of knees. A couple of headshots. And I tell you what, Dober, honestly, like, laser focus. Doing a fantastic job of firing headshots in. He just constantly seems to be finding the head. Constantly. Every single time he's throwing in something and something is landing. Dariush has definitely taken some punishment here, and you can see he's kind of sucking in a little bit of air here. I think Dariush is definitely rocked. Does put a little flurry together. Knee to the stomach. Dober answers back with one as well. They're both jockeying in the center of the octagon. Dober looking for a takedown. He was trying for a hip toss. Gets pushed up against the cage. Dariush firing in some knees now. Really tough to call. I feel like it might be a Dober round. Feel like Dober was maybe more of the aggressor. But close. Very close. Dariush definitely seems to be the worse for wear at the moment. I think Dariush just needs to get to the second round. But Dober charging in with a knee. Yeah, very strong start. Dariush heavy, not just favourite. Dariush is heavy favourite here. And I would say he's just lost that first round. It's going to be really interesting to see what they actually say to him now. What is it that they're going to recommend? They're telling Dober that his shots are landing. I think they're looking for combinations from Dober. I think that makes sense because they are getting through. Dober is getting through. So if he's going to get through, if he can fire off some combinations, in all fairness, he has been looking to do that. He's just not been landing with many combinations, but at least one of the shots has been getting through. Fantastic laser focus for the head. He keeps finding the head. I think they're going to show us some replays here. I'd love to see a breakdown of how many headshots he connected with. Look at that! Bang! 1, 2, 3, 4 shots in a row. Followed with a body shot by Dober. Right, we are into the second round. Dober comes charging out. And he drops Dariush! Dariush goes down, but he's straight back up! Ah, this fight is fire! They've gone over to the side of the cage. Really, really enjoying Dober's performance here. Dariush, though, has got him pinned up against that cage. I think what Dariush might be wise to try and do here is just try and sap some of the energy out of Dober, because Dober just seems to have stunning cardio. Just energy for days. Dariush does manage to take Dober down. I think he's going to want to try and dictate this on the ground. He's trying to tie up the legs. Can't quite get it done. Oh, nice work from Dariush. He has got Dober down and he's on top. And I think... Oh, now he unleashes. Big shot to the head. If he can do this for the rest of the round, really wear down Dober, then you feel like the match might start to swing to Dariush's way. At the moment, Dober, I would say, is definitely up, but this is not a position he wants to be in. He has got Dariush on top of him. Let me know in the chat what you think of this fight so far. Who do you think is going to win, Dober or Dariush? Dariush isn't really doing anything here. It looks like he's trying to get a choke maybe? But I don't think he's going to be able to apply anything from that angle. Don't think either guy's really doing anything here. This is just kind of wearing down the clock. It's not great for either guy. Dober can't really cause any damage from there, and Dariush isn't really scoring any points either. Kind of feels like Dariush. There we go. Now he's starting. I think he's found a little opening, and now he's starting to fire some shots into the head. Dariush definitely getting the better of this as elbows started to rain down, but Dober very quick to get out of that as Dariush is trying to get round the back. Dariush definitely better on the ground here. Dariush has definitely got the better ground game. So Dariush on top of Dober. We're into the final 2 minutes of this second round. You can see the total strikes on screen at the moment. Bring it up. Total strikes. Significant strikes. It's quite even on that scoreboard, but I wouldn't have said it that way. Dober definitely, but I do feel like Dariush has actually picked up quite a few of his strikes recently, because he has definitely controlled this round. Dober trying to get up to his feet, and he does! And now he reverses it! And now he's the one that's got a clinch on Dariush, but Dariush drops down, goes for a single leg takedown, does take down Dober. This is like a chess game. It is so fascinating. One guy gets up, he's then looking to try and bring him back down. This is not where Dober wants to be. Dober clearly is a striker, enjoys throwing bombs. But I don't think is as comfortable on the ground as what Dariush is. We're seeing here actually, round 2, significant strikes. Dariush 15, Dober 3. So this round definitely going to Dariush. It's going to set up a very explosive third. Dober powering his way. Powering his way. Dober submits. Wow, I am shocked. Dober had actually powered his way up to his feet, but I think he got caught with a kind of armbar. Wow. He tapped. He just tapped out of nowhere. He powered his way up to his feet. Next thing I knew, he tapped. That is incredible. I want to see a replay here because it came out of nowhere. This was definitely Dariush's round. We can see that Dober... Yeah, he's looking for the armbar and he can't get out. Ah, yes, there's that different angle. Okay. You couldn't see because of the angle. But when they showed the other angle, you can see that he's really pulling on the arm. He's got the arm. And didn't leave Dober with much of an option. Wow, what a fascinating fight. What a fascinating fight. So there we go. Dariush gets the victory. Kind of thought that he would going into that fight, but really, really interesting stuff. That was a great fight. Really enjoyed that. So let's put down the fact that Dariush has picked up the victory. There we go. So we've had 2 fights so far. I believe there's 6 on the main card. Of course, the main event being Derrick Lewis. And that's it. Yeah, Dariush picks up the victory over Dober, but I would say that wasn't too far away from the 3rd round. And honestly, it probably would have been even going into that 3rd round. Shout out to Bob Sakimano. Just getting the official result, but we already know what that is. Jim Ross is leaving WWE. Yes, I did hear that. I did hear that. Can't say I'm too surprised, because he's been very vocal about AEW. So, yeah, I'm not too surprised at all. So apparently he's getting a really good contract going over there. We're just hearing from Dariush, who is... He's putting over Dober, saying what a fantastic opponent. Does Lewis win? I don't know. I want him to, but I really don't know. He's certainly got the power to do it. He's got the skills to do it. I don't even know if his favourite. I haven't seen the odds, so I don't know if his favourite going into it. I know he's ranked. Is he still ranked 2nd? So yeah, it's. I feel like he will. I feel like he's got the power to do it. All Elite Wrestling, yes. Shout out to Raymond Gaming. We're just hearing from Dariush at the moment. Not sure what our next fight is going to be, but man, I hope it's as good as what that was. That was a fantastic contest. Dariush, I think, is just talking to his kid at the moment. There we go. Brilliant. Right. Hopefully we find out what our next fight's going to be. We can start looking at the tail of the tape on that one. That finish just came out of nowhere. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed as well, hit subscribe, because we do all of the UFC Fight Nights. We do all of the big UFC cards as well, the main cards. Yeah, we will be back next week. I think it's... Is it London next week? I feel like it's London next week. Which should be a great show. So what have we got now? Are we seeing hot... I think they're just promoting forthcoming stuff. I feel like our next fight might be... Oh, is it going to be Rothwell? Is it the return of Rothwell next? That'll be cool. That'll be cool if it is. Rothwell's been away for a couple of years. So this is a big comeback fight for him. Still waiting to find out if it is or not next. Let me jump into the chat, see what the chat is saying. Future Marine, hello. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, they're just promoting UFC 236. Shout Rostick. Is it Rostick? Who's the bald dudes? They're just promoting the forthcoming UFC main card. Did you see what Ronda said about WWE? Yes, I did. I thought it was very clever of her to do it. Because it's a great way of getting heat. Ronda, for those of you that don't watch WWE, Ronda Rousey has had a really good first year in WWE. And she has now turned on the fans. And basically online said that wrestling was fake, which it is, and everyone knows that. But it really upset a load of people. I don't understand. I don't get it. I really don't understand. It's like saying the sky is blue. Yeah, it is. How can you get upset at that? I don't understand. It upset a load of people, so clearly it worked. And it is going to be Ivanov versus Ben Rothwell next. That's enough talking about Ronda Rousey. So this is Rothwell's return fight. Ivanov versus Rothwell. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape here. See how they measure up. So Ben Rothwell has got a 5.5-inch reach advantage and a 1-inch leg reach as well. He's taller. He's far more dominant. Ben Rothwell should easily win this. But anything can happen. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the chat who you think is going to win this contest. Surely it's going to be Rothwell. The sky is red, blue, black, orange, and yellow. Cool. We're just at commercial break at the moment. When we go back, we will be going back to the Rothwell fight. Should hopefully result in a knockout. Looking for a Rothwell knockout here. That's what I'm predicting. It is London next. UFC Fight Night. We are going to London. That is next week, and we will be live for that. Again, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe because we are here throughout the rest of this fight night. We're back next week for that fight night, that London fight night. And coming up, we've got Ivanov versus Rothwell. This, of course, a heavyweight contest. And I really think Rothwell's got the power here to put Ivanov away. Jose David Soler saying Rothwell. It's not fake. It's scripted. A slight difference. I don't think there's any difference there, to be honest. It's not a real contest. It's a scripted contest, a fake contest. It's surely all the same thing. The fact that people got upset about it is just staggering to me. I just don't get it. I don't understand why people got upset. Here he is. Ben Rothwell. He is huge as well. He is big. He is going to... I believe... I need to have a look at that tail of the tape again, but I feel like he's going to have a big size advantage here. Yeah, he is. Ben Rothwell is 6'4". Ivanov is 5'11". Rothwell, 265. Ivanov, 250. We know that Rothwell's got the better reach. He's going to dominate this. He's got 28 first round finishes. He finished 33 of his 36 wins. 27 by knockout. I reckon he's going to add another here. Don't close your eyes on this one. I think Rothwell is going to give us another first round knockout. That's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts. The sky is grey in London. The reason why it bugged me was because I don't want to hear that it's fake every tweet. Okay. I did not know that. The commentators just said that Ben Rothwell fought 10 times in 2002. It's nearly like once a month. That is crazy. We're just waiting for Ivanov to make his way down. Shout out to Wilbert Games 370. And Ivanov just making his way down for this, which will be our third fight. I believe there's 6 fights in total. We've already had an hour of this main card. First fight was pretty awful. If you missed the first fight, you really didn't miss much at all. Second fight was much, much better. I'm hoping this one's going to be quite explosive. Finished 12 of 16 wins, 6 knockouts, 6 submissions, former world Sambo gold medalist. He's certainly a legit... I think he's ranked as well, isn't he? 15th. At what time are you streaming tomorrow? Yes, we will be streaming the WWE event tomorrow. We'll start when the kickoff show starts for that one. As Ivanov makes his way into the octagon. This is going to be explosive. How quickly will I don't even think it's a question that Rothwell's going to win. It's just how quickly will he win. I'm saying first round knockout here. First round knockout, that's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts. In the chat, who do you think is picking up the win? How do you think that win is going to come? As they just announce them. Back after 2 years out. Rothwell, it really depends what his cardio is like. I don't think that's going to come into play. I really don't think he's going to be taking like the distance or anything like that. I really do think he's going to deliver a knockout. And I've gone with the first round knockout. He's got enormous power, Rothwell. Really great counter striker as well. So... Ivanov's going to have to be very, very careful here. Ivanov likes to kind of sit back. He won't come racing out. He's quite defensively solid, actually. But this is... I just really feel like this is a different league for him. Can he defend here? This is fascinating stuff. Rothwell in the middle. Ivanov just circling around. Ivanov's not going to be charging straight in. Rothwell, I mean, you can see the size difference between the two. Ivanov just trying to keep Rothwell back a little bit. Not really sure what his game plan is, because of course Rothwell's got a much better reach. Do you get the feeling that Rothwell could throw some bombs here whenever he wants? And he does! Throws in a big left hand. Doesn't really do a great deal of damage. I think that was more of a slip by Ivanov. Ivanov already going down, but I think it was a little slip. Still not had really much from Rothwell. You can see that Ivanov just doesn't really know what to do here. He's just constantly backing away. He's looking for an opening, but Rothwell's not giving him anything. It just fires in a quick little left jab. Very comfortable for Rothwell at the moment. Very, very comfortable. Ivanov is just circling round. I'm very surprised that Rothwell hasn't really thrown much yet. Went for a kick, doesn't land. Then a little flurry, but not much getting through. Straight left. I feel like Rothwell could probably... Rothwell could put him away. I really feel like Rothwell could put him away if he went for this. There, oh, that was a beautiful left from Rothwell. I mean, he's been out of this for a while, so he's not racing into it. He's not making any stupid mistakes. Got to give him credit for that. Let me see if I can just get the stats up on screen. You can see quite even when it's come to shots thrown. 7 shots to 6 at the moment. 8 to 7. Really, Rothwell's not even got out of first gear here. He's just very much just stood in the ring. He's got his arms out. He's fired in a couple of shots. Not a great deal. Landing. He's really not pushing the gas for whatever reason. It's very cagey. Very, very cagey first round this is. Just a little kick. Ivanov not doing a great deal. Okay, Rothwell. Just threw in a left and right. We are into the final minute and a half of this first opening round. And it's just been very cagey. They've just been feeling each other out. Rothwell really not committing with anything. He does come forward a little bit there. Ivanov has got very good movement, actually. Ivanov doing a great job of just going around the outside. 45% advancing from Rothwell. 3% from Ivanov. Ivanov just is in reverse. He's in reverse. He's just constantly moving around the cage. Very little here. I really thought Rothwell would give us more in this opening round. Couple of shots. And again, I wonder if they'll tell him in his corner to step it up in the second. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is John Jones' illegal knee? We can talk about that. There we go. Rothwell charging in now. He left it way too late. I don't understand. He went charging in, but he did it just as the round finished. He needed to do that with like 30 seconds to go. That made no sense. I mean, look. He hasn't even broken a sweat. I don't believe they're not saying anything to Rothwell. He's just taking on some water. Wow, that's really weird. They're not saying anything. Okay. It seems like they've got a game plan there, because they certainly weren't telling Rothwell he needed to go out there and do this, do that. It feels like that first round was a bit of ring rust, maybe? As crazy as that sounds, he's not fought for a while. Here we go. Come in, touch gloves as we go into the second. I'd like to see more from Rothwell. I think Rothwell said he was going to look for some body shots. That first, I think, would have to be given to Rothwell. Obviously, we don't know what they said to Ivanov. We weren't in that corner. But the second round starts fairly similar to the first. Ivanov moving forward. A little bit more, though. Firing in a few more shots. I think he's probably fired in a few more shots in this round compared to what he did in the first. Ivanov occupying a little bit more of the centre ground now. Firing in some right jabs. Rothwell, honestly, Rothwell doesn't look comfortable. I'm going to be perfectly honest. This is not what I was expecting to see from him. I really thought he would be in there bossing this fight. Dictating this fight. He isn't. He seems to be very reactive. Even though Ivanov is the one that's on the defence and is the one that's in reverse, he's still firing shots in and he's still causing Rothwell a little bit of, not damage, but he's certainly giving him something to think about. Feels like Rothwell just needs to take the brakes off here and just fire in some shots. We've got 3 minutes 20 left of this second round. There's still plenty of time. But at what point is he going to go for it? Very good defense from Ivanov as well. Like, you can see Rothwell trying to lunge forward, trying to land a few head strikes, but not getting a great deal of success. He does clip him with a left. Not a great deal of power in it. Now he's starting to mix it up. Went for a head kick there from Rothwell. And Rothwell really starting to move forward a little bit more now. Ivanov's doing some nice counter-punching, actually. So Rothwell's kind of lunging forward, but Ivanov is coming round the sides. Throwing in a few hooks. Nice straight right from Ivanov. And this is not the fight I was expecting at all. This is not the fight I was expecting at all. Nice body shot, though, from Rothwell there. Fires in a kick as well. Very difficult to know who would get this round. I feel like Ivanov probably has got more significant strikes. And actually, as I'm glancing at the statistics, I can see it is 31-22 to Ivanov. Couple of headshots, though, from Rothwell. And Rothwell now starting to unload with a little bit of a combo there. Kick to the stomach. Little bit, I think he's got a bit of blood actually, Rothwell. Couple of them shots from Ivanov have connected. There is blood coming out of the nose of Rothwell. Rothwell has been stuck in first gear and he is now paying for it. Rothwell is definitely the one that's advancing here. Definitely the one that's on the front foot, but he's also busted open. It's not going to hurt his vision. I don't think it's going to restrict his breathing or anything like that. I think it is just a bit of blood, but I don't understand why Rothwell has allowed this to happen. Couple of shots coming in. Here we go. Rothwell now right and lefts. Just had Ivanov up against the cage, but Ivanov escapes. 30 seconds left of this second round, and it's been a fascinating second round as well. Rothwell still the one that's moving forward. Beautiful left there by Ivanov. Fascinating stuff. Little jab from Rothwell. Went with a left hook, but didn't land. Went for a leg kick. Ivanov kicks back. They really didn't say much to Rothwell during the last break. They're going to have to talk to him here. I really feel like Rothwell has given Ivanov too much respect. I feel like he's been out of this for a while. And he's just not got out of first gear. He's managed to throw a few combinations. There was a couple of times where he had Ivanov kind of pinned up against the cage. But the fact is, Ivanov's been in reverse throughout this whole fight. And he's just not been challenged. He's just been allowed. There's not even been much of a pace to the fight. So, you know, Ivanov's been able to come in, counter with a couple of strikes, and then back away, continue moving round. He's basically been chased around the octagon by Rothwell, but he's managed to land a couple of shots in there that have really done some damage. I think Ivanov's probably up here. Be very interesting if this goes to the judges. Very, very interesting. But I think Ivanov's up here. Even if he has been in retreat for most of this fight. Certainly just up on total strikes and significant strikes. A bit of bruising under the eye of Ivanov as well. He's far the bigger man, Rothwell. Far the bigger man. Lunging forward with a left. Couple of shots fired back from Ivanov. Rothwell saying, come on. I mean, Rothwell loves to counter-strike, so he will be very happy if Ivanov is firing shots on him, because he will look to counter those. Where Ivanov is defending, escaping, I think that's frustrating, Rothwell. I really do. Oh, he's going in for a clinch, but Ivanov fires a few shots off just to break away. Went for a head kick, went for a left. Rothwell not managing to land with much of this. He's not looked good. Rothwell has not looked good at all. Herb Dean just calling a timeout. Both guys back in the centre again. We got 3 minutes 30 of this round and this fight. Rothwell definitely looking a little bit more aggressive here, firing in a couple of kicks. Okay, here we go. Where are we? Time. 2 minutes 50 left of the third round. Not much happening here. Rothwell firing in a kick to the midsection. I think Ivanov, if it goes to decision, it's going to be really close, but I feel like Ivanov would get it. So Ivanov could probably afford to just defend here, but he's still firing some shots in. He's finding some openings here, Ivanov. Landing a couple of strikes on the head. And Rothwell coming forward a little better. Landing a couple of strikes on his own. Here we go. Rothwell with a beautiful left. I think he's sensing here that he's got to go for this. Kick. Nice little combo from Rothwell. Ivanov hasn't seemed as defensive in this round. He's kind of standing his ground in the middle, quite comfortable. Minute and 30 left. Both guys throwing shots in. Both guys with rights that connect. Kick from Ivanov. Ivanov with an overhead left. Don't think he gets much of it. Not a great deal of pace here. Nice little jab, though, from Rothwell. Ivanov, 3% advancing in the first, 3% advancing in the second, 7% advancing in the third. So, not as defensive, but not a great deal in it. Commentators are saying that the fact that Rothwell's been moving forward all fight might help him get the overall victory. I think this will be close. I think Ivanov's done a great job here as the two of them start trading shots. Ivanov doing fantastic work. Head kick from Rothwell. This has turned into a great fight, but sadly there's only 10 seconds left. Ah, and there we go. That's the end of the fight. Rothwell puts his arms in the air. Ivanov does as well. It goes to decision. Tough one to call. Tough one to call. They were quite gassed out, yes. Let me know, guys. Who do you think has won that? Glad to listen to play-by-play. Am I the only one who finds ESPN Plus only broadcasting 4 UFCs on network with 3 channels, paid cable? No, I understand what you're saying. It is a mistake. They could make these a little bit more accessible for people. We are waiting to find out the result of this, though. Rothwell. Could be Rothwell. He got in more significant strikes. He definitely was on the front foot. I was really impressed with Ivanov, though. Let's see how this goes. Rothwell. Jack Cunningham says Rothwell just. Yeah. Okay, it's unanimous. Oh, Ivanov by unanimous decision. Oh, is that a shock? Is that an up? It feels. We said it was close. We said it was close. I think that is a surprise, though. I felt like they were going to give it to Rothwell just because he was definitely advancing. You can see he got more significant strikes, but that Ivanov definitely picked his moments, and just, I don't know, seemed to fight a smarter fight. I can understand why people scored it for Ivanov, but I don't think that's a unanimous decision. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Ivanov got a unanimous decision. Amazed that he got the victory overall, actually. I definitely wouldn't have said that before the fight. I thought this was going to be a first round knockout for Rothwell, but Rothwell just did not look comfortable throughout that whole fight. They're just showing significant strikes, and Ivanov had more in the first. It was a draw in the second, but Rothwell got more significant strikes in the third. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Wow. I'm surprised at that. Really surprised at that. Right, I'm not sure. What's the next fight? Is it going to be... Let's have a look. Is it Tim Means? I'm guessing it will be. Tim Means against Niko Price. Both very even, actually. Both the same reach, pretty much. 75, 76. In fact, Niko Price has got a better reach, but Tim Means has got a better leg reach. They're both the same weight. I feel like this is the next one. Days, when is the next toy hunt? Not yet. I might try and have a look at for something next week, but we are focused firmly on live streams at the moment. We've obviously got the big WWE one coming up tomorrow. Next week, we are going to be live streaming the UFC Fight Night London. Very excited for that. So that should be a great show as well. Days, glad you're doing another fight. Thank you very much, Kevin. Really appreciate the support. James Cushman saying big guys lose stamina faster, but the little guy has to play smart. I hear what you're saying. They're just talking about the middleweight rankings. They were talking about Israel Adesanya. Just waiting to find out what the next fight here is going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tim Means against Niko Price. Shout out to BJK13. They just thought, yeah, that Adesanya fight's going to be amazing. Such a fantastic fighter. Very exciting to watch. So, yeah, UFC 236. That is April 13th. So, still quite a way off for that one. But it does look like a very, very good card. Dustin Poirier against Max Holloway. Right, we are going back now. Let's have a look and see what the next fight's going to be. Are you going to WrestleMania? I am not, sadly. No, I won't be at WrestleMania. We will be live streaming WrestleMania, though. It looks like Ronda Rousey should be in the main event for that. Yes, it is. Means versus Price. Welterweight fight. And this should be quite explosive. I actually don't know a great deal about these two, so I'm very excited to see this. BJK13, I honestly don't know if I'll get time because of all the stuff I've got lined up before Fastlane. Niko Price, the hybrid. Right. This should be fun. This should be fast-paced. I don't want to say this one's not going to go the distance, because I said that last time and I was completely wrong. I really did not expect that performance from Rothwell. I really didn't expect that performance. I thought that he was going to take the fight to Ivanov a bit more, and actually he could have. Ivanov was constantly on the back foot, but just wasn't troubled. Wasn't really put under a great deal of pressure, and Rothwell paid the price for that. Okay, Means versus Price. This is our fourth fight. 8 first round finishes for Niko Price. I think Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier is both excellent fighters. I'm personally going for jumped off screen. Should be that UFC card looks stacked. Will be great. They obviously fought before. I think Dustin won that one, didn't he? Like, I'm sure he took the victory there. I can't remember what UFC it was. It was like years and years and years ago. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. This is a different Max Holloway, though. BJK13, no worries, my friend. Unusual Odor and Discharge says Rothwell was off for a long time. It's very true. Very, very true. He was off for 2 years. I suppose it was a bit unreasonable to expect that kind of explosive action from him being away for so long, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that. It's Dustin's time. Does Brock come back? Well, apparently the UFC do want Brock. The UFC still desperately want to do Brock against Daniel Cormier. I don't know if Daniel Cormier wants that fight anymore. I think Brock would take that fight. I don't think Brock would win that fight, but I think Cormier wants that fight. But I haven't actually heard like where they are in regards to making that fight a reality. I hope it happens. He did take the victory. I believe they were both in featherweight at the time. The fact they're going to light heavyweight is going to be amazing. There we go. Very cool. Thank you for letting me know, Jordan. Tim Means 15 first round finishes. He has finished 23 out of 28 of his wins, 19 by knockout. He has got the 7th highest striking rate amongst the active UFC welterweights. Wow, I didn't know that. This is going to be fascinating and hopefully explosive. But it'll probably be dull and go the distance. Brock beats DC. No way. No way. BJK13 thinks Price is going to win this. Tim Means is 6 years older. Does that make any difference? Could it be that Niko Price's cardio is just that little bit better? He's not as tall. He's not carrying as much weight, and he's got a slightly better reach. So I'm going to go with Price on this as well. I'm going to go with Price. Let me go down and just add the fact that Ivanov picked up a shock victory there. Okay, both guys are in the octagon. Both guys have made their entrances. Tim Means against Niko Price. I'm going for Price on this one. Although saying that, Means is the favourite here. This should be a great fight. Lol, I don't think he will beat DC, but just imagine Brock versus John Jones. Yes. Battle of the Drug Lords. Right, here we go then, guys. We are underway. Price in black, Means in white. Means is the favourite. And certainly Means has come out on the front foot. Price just backing off a little bit. Both guys in the centre. Nice strike. This is nice. Fast fists from Price. Looks like Price wants to finish this as early as he can. Firing in some knees. Some beautiful left and rights. Means, though, driving, picking up, slamming Price down. This is a great opening. Means on top of Price now. Beautiful takedown. And I would say Means is in control at the moment. He is getting Price tied up. Price doing whatever he can to try and get out of this. He's got a good leg defense here. But those shots are coming in. Both up against the cage. Really fast. Really explosive. Great opening from Price. Price definitely took the start of this. But at the moment, he's on his back and he's having to try and keep Means away. Means is dictating this right now. He's trying to tie up Price. Firing them shots onto the head. He's got Price down. Price still trying to fight his way out of this. He's in trouble though. Fascinating stuff. Oh, some vicious shots coming in now. Price in a world of trouble. He's on his back. Slightly exposed. Means definitely getting the better of this. Not where Price wants to be. Oh, knee to the head though. Price back up to his feet, but surely some damage done there. That's got to have taken some out of the gas tank. Both guys back into the centre. That was good from Means. This is going to be very, very interesting. What has Price got? He's got a blood coming out of his nose. I know that much. I feel like that little passage means that this round is going to Means at the moment. Even though Price had such an explosive opening. He's got to be so careful. Yeah, there's blood coming out of his nose. Goes for a kick, went for a back elbow, doesn't connect with either. The intensity has just dipped away here. Beautiful shots on the inside by Means there. Pace of this has really fallen away. You can tell that that's done some real damage to Price. Both guys trading shots though. Let me try and get the count up on screen. You can see fairly even actually, which is quite a surprise considering that Means dominated whilst they were down on the ground. So it shows that Price is getting through as they're trading shots on their feet. Some beautiful lefts and rights. Both guys connecting here. There's really not much in the way of defense. It's like everything they're throwing is getting through. Not throwing a great deal at the moment, though. Price on the front foot. Means just backing off a little bit. Ooh, nice strike, though, by Means. Beautiful strikes. Most of this is getting through. Most of this is getting through. Price has got to defend better because his head is getting snapped back. Ah! Means goes down! Means goes down! The fight has stopped! Price wins! Price wins! Ah! Out of nowhere! That was massive! He jumps on top of the octagon! Arms in the air! Beautiful strike out of nowhere. Means was dominating this. Price was getting his head snapped back. And out of nowhere, a lot of stuff was getting through. It just needed something with real power. And you knew that it was going to do the job. And that's exactly what he's done here. We're waiting for the replay. Couldn't see exactly what it was that he threw. Just watching. Oh, it's a beautiful right. It's a beautiful right. And then hammer fists to put him away. Round bang. Down he goes. He didn't even see it coming. It's just come swinging round. He's dropped him down. It's kind of come against the run of play. I was saying at the time that he really needs to focus on his defense. He was getting his head snapped back. I mean, he's got blood all over his face. Clearly, he just felt he needed that one punch, and he found it. He found it. That is easily the moment of the night. The moment of the night. So good. That was so good. Massive. Didn't even see it coming. Just before he knew it, bang, just got connected. Side of the head. I think it hit him around the side. Swung it round, dropped him down. Oh, man. This is what makes UFC so good. So good. Completely against the run of play. Completely against the run of play. He was getting his head snapped back, as I said. Everything was getting through. Like, both of their defenses were awful. Thankfully, though, Price was the one that found the power. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There we go. Big win for Niko Price there. Great. Richard Deal saying, wow. Jack Cunningham saying, OMG. Unusual odour and discharge going, whoa. I think that's what it says. Whoa. Means is still on his knees. That was huge. Violence. Round 1, 4 minutes 50. Winner by knockout, Niko Price. That was great. That was great. 2 fights left. We should have Dos Santos against Millender next. And that is a toss of a coin. That is 50-50. Anyone's guess who's winning that one. Absolutely brilliant. Just showing a replay of it there. Drops him down and then hammer fists whilst he's down. Really came out of nowhere. He was actually backed up against the cage as well. Means was definitely the one that was advancing. But Price just found it. Price had the power. Fantastic right. Just hearing from him in the ring at the moment. But we know that we do have Dos Santos against Millender coming up next. Great. Right, let me go over and change this to Dos Santos. Wow. Okay, let us change that at the top. They just keep showing the replay of it. Of course they are. Absolutely fantastic. Easily the moment of the night so far. Came out of nowhere. Absolutely against the run of play as well. Commentator saying one of the best rounds we have seen in 2019. And actually, I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't argue with that at all. Logan Nero, hello, my friend. Who won? All the winners are streaming along the bottom. And I can tell you that the winner of that last fight was Price. Niko Price getting the victory over Means. What time are you streaming tomorrow night? So we are streaming tomorrow. And we are starting when the pre-show starts. Should be really interesting, actually, because I saw that WWE are going to be doing like a live stream during the event as well. So I'm kind of wondering if that means there's going to be more people watching on YouTube. So hopefully we get a few people kind of dropping by, which would be amazing. We get, you know, fantastic crowd that join us anyway. There's a real community of people that join us on a regular basis. I'm certainly looking to build that here with the UFC. We have covered quite a few UFC events, but we are going nowhere. We are back next week for the Fight Night London card. We will be covering all the big UFC events. Of course, we're back tomorrow as well for the WWE show. So we are live streaming quite a lot of stuff at the moment. Logan Nero says ready for Fastlane. BJK13 says I think Dos Santos is going to get the victory here. Okay, it is super tight, this fight. Super close. Super hard to call. Say Svavatic. Svavatic? Right, I can tell you that Dos Santos is definitely better when it comes to kicks and kicking. He's got great movement, Dos Santos. Great spinning kicks, good high kicks. Could win easily with body kicks because Millender isn't the best at defending the body. Millender, though, has got great punches. I would say that he is the better striker overall. He's got decent kicks. Millender's kicks aren't as good, but his striking is much, much better. So this is going to be a very, very interesting fight. I actually don't know who the favourite is here going into this. They're just showing us next week's fight. Darren Till, ranked 3rd in the welterweight rankings. Masvidal is his opponent next week. Just showing the card. It looks like a pretty fun card. Gunnar Nelson on that card. Dominic Reyes on that card. Next week's card looks good, actually. Nathaniel Wood. So, yes, we are back next week. Not enough UFC girls on this fight night. Been watching for over a year. Watch every day. Thank you very much, random user. Really appreciate the support. Honestly, really do. So yeah, this has been quite an interesting show. I would say the first fight was a bit of a sleeper fight, but that last one, absolutely fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. And as we said, we should have a great fight coming up next with Dos Santos against Millender. This is our co-main event. Dos Santos is the former Jungle Fight welterweight champion. And there's Millender. I'm gonna go Millender on this. I'm gonna go Millender. I just feel like he's a better striker, but Dos Santos definitely moves better. So hard to call. Let me know. Let me know who have you got, Dos Santos or Millender. This is a really, really tough one to call. Really tough one to call. Dos Santos or Millender, who do you think wins this one? The J-Man reckons Dos Santos. Hello to WWE Attitude. I'm swinging towards Millender, but I am quite happy to admit that I could be wrong with this. Of course, this is our co-main event as well. After this, we will have the main event, which is going to be Derrick Lewis. For those of you that are just joining us, because I see there's people joining us all the time. Dos Santos, we were saying, much better when it comes to kicks. Really fantastic striker when it comes to spinning kicks and high kicks. We'll probably be looking for body kicks, Dos Santos. Really great movement. That, for me, is what makes him stand apart here. Really, really great movement. He's constantly looking for different angles. He's really got a lot going for him, which is why this is a 50-50 fight. Millender, though, has got a reach advantage and also a leg reach advantage. And also, I just feel is a better striker overall. He's better when it comes to punching. His kicks are okay, but not at the level of Dos Santos. His movement isn't as good as Dos Santos. He likes to kind of be planted in one position. I actually think Millender will occupy the center of the octagon, and you'll have Dos Santos kind of working around him, trying to find openings. I think Dos Santos is going to fire in a lot of kicks. Millender's going to be looking for the shots. It's really who's going to connect first. Is it going to be Dos Santos with his kicks, or is it going to be Millender with his strikes? Tough to call. Tough to call. They're just showing, obviously, the previous fights as we build up towards this. For those of you that have just joined, so far we have had 4 results with Akhmedov picking up the victory. Dariush picking up the victory. Ivanov beating Ben Rothwell. That was quite a controversial decision. A lot of people thought Ben Rothwell was going to get that on decision, but it was actually unanimous decision to Ivanov. And then fantastic shot from Price, putting away Means in that last fight. It's been a really interesting show. This is the co-main event, and it is 50-50. As I said, I genuinely don't know who the favourite is for this one. I don't know who's going in as favourite. BJK13, thank you very much for the support, my friend. Jackson Oak, hello, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by, really do appreciate it. As we start heading towards the main events, this next fight is the co-main event. Broken nose night, yes, good point. We've seen quite a lot of blood, quite a lot of... Well, I don't know how many broken noses. Definitely at least 1. Potentially 2. Here we go. Millender making his ring walk. Making his way down. As I said, I'm just waiting to find out who the favourites are here. Whilst we're doing that, we can just have a look at the tail of the tape again. We can see that Millender is 6'2", compared to Dos Santos, who is 6 foot tall. Both guys 170. We know that Millender's got that reach advantage. He's got a big leg reach advantage as well. And... Dos Santos has got a win percentage by knockout of 70%. Millender, 35. Average fight time, 11 minutes for Dos Santos. 13 minutes for Millender. Let's have a look and see. Say Sparky. There we go. I hope that made your dreams come true, my friend. Right, Millender. Let's find out a little bit more about him. He is on a 9-fight win streak. He is undefeated in the UFC. 6 of those have come by knockout. 3 of those 6 first round finishes. No way is this going to be a first round finish. I really don't see that happening. It's hard to tell. I don't know how. Could be decision. Could be in the 3rd round. So close. This fight is so close. Millender is in there. Days, can you shout out my sister Tyson? She would love it if you called her Tyson Fish. Logan Nero, see you later, my friend. Matt Mills, hello. Charles Suka, hello to you. Thank you very much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. As we head towards this co-main event, Millender is already in the octagon. We're just waiting for Dos Santos to make his way down. Millender undefeated in the UFC. Yeah, all is good, thank you. Very much looking forward to these next couple of fights. And then, of course, we've got the WWE show tomorrow. We've already been saying that we will be back not only tomorrow for that WWE show, but we're back next week for that UFC Fight Night London. That looks like a great card, so very excited for that. So we will be back for that next week. As Dos Santos makes his way down. They're saying that if Dos Santos goes out there and performs as he usually does, he could pick up the victory here. I feel like it's closer than that, though. I don't feel like they're giving Millender his dues. Right. Days, do you have a fan mail address? Nothing at the moment, no. Third longest active win streak in UFC welterweight division. 6 wins, 9 first round finishes. Finished 16 out of 20 wins. 14 of those coming by knockout. Fantastic fighter. This is close. The final countdown. It is the final countdown that's playing at the moment as Dos Santos enters into the octagon. Just takes a second. Steps in. This should be a fantastic fight. I'm with you, just like the last fight. They aren't giving the Millender his dues. Curtis Millender. I'm gonna say that I'm going with Millender. I don't want to sit on the fence. I'm gonna pick someone, so I'm going to pick Millender. Millender, actually, according to the Vegas odds, is slight favourite. So even though the commentary team were just quite heavily putting over Dos Santos, Millender is stepping in as slight favourite here. But this is super, super close. Slight underdog for Dos Santos. But do not count him out. We've been talking glowingly about his kicks. The commentary team were talking about his clinching as well. This is going to be a great fight. Okay, here we go. Both guys getting ready here. This is our co-main event. Touch gloves. Dos Santos. Okay, so Millender occupying that middle ground. Dos Santos moving around. Exactly what we said. Look at these kicks getting fired in. Looking for a takedown. And Millender's got a guillotine. Millender has got a guillotine. He lets it go. Dos Santos went for a takedown. Let me just get the stats on screen for those of you want to know. Total strikes at the moment, 3-0. Tell you that they're both tied up at the moment on the floor. This isn't really where Millender wants to be. Millender on his back. He's got Dos Santos on top of him. Firing a few elbows in from Dos Santos. We got a little glimpse for like 30 odd seconds at the start of what the kicking game of Dos Santos was like. But Dos Santos wanted to go for a takedown. Yeah. He clearly feels like he's got that advantage. Millender's in a dangerous spot here because Dos Santos is on his back. He's looking for a choke. He's trying to get his arm underneath the chin of Millender to apply that rear naked choke, but can't get it in. Millender doing well, fighting it off. Feel like Millender might be able to get up to his feet here. Dos Santos on his back. Again going for that choke. Has he got it? He has got it underneath. Ah! Dos Santos wins! Wow! Wow! Dos Santos just managed to get that choke on, and that was it. It didn't even come down to the punching and the kicking. They didn't stay on their feet. Dos Santos actually took the fight down early. Took the fight down. Was then constantly looking for that rear naked choke. Couldn't quite get it in. And then just found an opening. Managed to apply it. And there was nowhere for Millender to go. You can see there he just manages to hook it in. And Millender just didn't have an option then. There was no way that Millender was getting up. And he has to tap. It's a real shame. I really feel like we were robbed. I really feel like we were robbed of a great fight. If Millender had been able to have kept that on their feet rather than it going down to ground so quickly, that would have been a different fight. But Dos Santos managing to get Millender down. Wow. There we go. Short work at the end. Short work. I'm really... I mean, Dos Santos has got a great ground game, so shouldn't be too surprised, but I'm just surprised that Millender didn't... He did so well when he first went down. But, I mean, like, he defended one attempt at the rear naked choke. He just got caught. He got caught with the other one. It's as simple as that. He defended the one and then got caught with the second. Had they have stayed on their feet, that would have been a very, very interesting fight. A very interesting fight, but... Well, there you go. They didn't. Dos Santos picks up a very, very quick victory there. So to everyone that said Dos Santos was going to get the victory, well done. Let me change the ticker below. BJK saying that was quick. That was quick. They're just obviously making it official. That means, though, that we are going to be moving next to the main event. I'm sure we'll hear from Dos Santos first. Great win. Great win for him. Right, yes, let me change this over. There we go. So, Akhmedov, Dariush, Ivanov, Price, and Dos Santos. They're just saying that they thought that he would go to try and wrestle him early, but did he think he would be able to control him on the ground? I'm really surprised. Fight game is a funny business. It really is. It really is. That is not a reflection of Millender at all. So he has got the second longest UFC welterweight winning streak at the moment with 7. Usman, obviously, first with 10. Wow. There we go. Right, I need to flip this over to our main event. Derrick Lewis against Junior Dos Santos. Do you think that you will get a fan mail address? Maybe. It's honestly not been high on my priority list. But yeah, it's something that we could certainly look into. My priority at the moment is live streaming and really getting the live streams up and running again. It's been a while since we were live streaming on YouTube. And as we said, we are back. We'll be back next week for the Fight Night London. And we're back tomorrow for WWE Fastlane. That is going to be quite an interesting show for anyone that watches WWE. But we are pretty much towards the main event. Derrick Lewis against Junior Dos Santos. This is the main event of tonight's card. And should be a very interesting fight. Versus Dos Santos. There we go. Is that Apollo Crews with a beard? I think Derrick will win by KO. Most knockouts in UFC history with 10. There we go. Coming up next, Derrick Lewis against Junior Dos Santos. So, I can tell you that Derrick Lewis is heavier, much heavier. He's 260 compared to Junior Dos Santos, that's 238. Dos Santos has got an inch height advantage. But Derrick Lewis has got a 2-inch reach advantage. Lewis has got that leg reach advantage as well. But this is all about that knockout power. This is all about that right hand. So, yeah, this is... I could see Derrick Lewis getting a knockout victory here. But don't write off Junior Dos Santos. Obviously, fantastically experienced. But saying that, this has been a night of shocks and surprises. Let me know who you think is going to win this. Do you think it's going to be Derrick Lewis or do you think it'll be Junior Dos Santos? Who is winning this? I've got a soft spot for Derrick Lewis. So I would really like to see Derrick Lewis pick up the victory here. Nikolai, hello my friend. Dos Santos leg kicks to fat belly. We are at commercial break at the moment. Obviously, when we go back, then we will be at that main event. Derrick Lewis by submission, says Connor Wright. That's interesting. That's interesting. Casual bandwagoner says Lewis. Junior is a great boxer, says Ridger. Beefed up Apollo Crews, says Logan Nero. We are at the main event then. We are at Wichita in Kansas. It's been an interesting show. There's been a few shocks, few surprises. But it is time for the main event. Hello, Jacob. We are covering this fight, yes. Obviously, this is 5 rounds. The thing about Derrick Lewis that's worth remembering is it really doesn't matter that this is 5 rounds. You could be deep into the 5th round and he will still have that knockout power. It's incredible. It is incredible. That right hand of his, it's one of the best weapons in all of UFC. Obviously, it wasn't much good when he fought Cormier. Cormier taking him to ground. Out-wrestled him. The fight kind of went as we thought it would. Cormier, though, you know, knew that that danger was there. Had to fight very clever. Derrick Lewis is, you know, a dangerous fighter. Again, legit, don't know who's favourite here. I feel like Lewis might be just the favourite. Might just edge it. The thing about Lewis is that his heart is a big factor in this. I know it doesn't sound very technical, but he never gives up. He's always got that power. He can always catch people. And he always tends to find a way of catching people. I'm not sure if he's got the movement to beat Dos Santos, but you can never write off Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis has been written off in the past and proved people wrong. And that right hand has just put too many people away. So I feel like he probably is going into this as the favourite. The thing is, though, that Dos Santos is the better grappler. He is the better wrestler. He's got better footwork. He's got better movement. He's got better cardio. He's probably more skilled overall. Like, on paper, if you was to put down the attributes that both of these guys have, you'd probably say Dos Santos is the favourite, but that power of Derrick Lewis and the fact that he just never gives up probably swings it Lewis's way. So I do feel like this is going to be a fun main event. You know, Dos Santos is going to constantly have to be on his guard. He's going to have to be very careful that he doesn't get caught. Could easily get caught. It's fascinating. It's going to be fascinating. The other thing as well is I don't know what the end goal is for Derrick Lewis, because he's already fought Cormier and he was well beaten. I've not heard from Derrick Lewis if he wants another fight with Cormier. Does he feel like he could get the better of him next time? Honestly, I don't know. It could be that he's just picking up paychecks at this stage. Dos Santos coming out to the Rocky theme. Love it. Lewis has to land that big shot, and his cardio is suspect. Santiago will outbox him unless that chin gets caught. It will be a good fight. Lewis going to take him to Popeyes. Chin versus cardio. Do you know, I agree. I think that perfectly sums it up. As you said, he's the much more skilled fighter. He's got great movement. This is a great fight. This is legit. It's going to be a very interesting fight. I, like many other people, though, if I'm being honest, I think I'm expecting Derrick Lewis to just catch Dos Santos. So that's my prediction. I think Derrick Lewis, over those 5 rounds, will just find a way of catching Dos Santos. At some point. He always finds a way, eventually. Unless he's in there with Cormier. UFC Wichita. This is our main event for anyone that's just joining us. As Derrick Lewis is taking on Dos Santos in the main event. Lewis said all he's been training on is cardio, not technique, only cardio. That's very interesting. He is going to need to have a degree of that, but as we've already said, he never loses that power. It's incredible. He never ever loses that power. So he could be absolutely gassed out, but for whatever reason, he always seems to have that right hand. So I'm sticking with my prediction here that Derrick Lewis will find a way. Here he comes, Derrick Lewis, making his way out to the octagon. Let me know in the chat, guys, who do you think is picking up the victory here? Do you think it will be Lewis with his power? Or do you think that the cardio of Dos Santos is going to actually be enough to overcome? Days, do you think this year's Fastlane will be better than last year's? I honestly don't know. We will have to see tomorrow if anyone's watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe because we are back next week for UFC Fight Night London. That looks like a really good card as well. We're back tomorrow for the WWE event as well, if anyone watches that. So, yes, we're live streaming on quite a regular basis now. We've been away from YouTube for a while, but it's great to be back. And Derrick Lewis is made his ring walk. Dos Santos is going to knock Lewis out early. Junior will pick him apart. Dos Santos, okay, NZ Storm says Dos Santos by rear naked choke. Trust me. Some big predictions coming in on the chat at the moment. Derrick Lewis finished 19 out of 21 wins, 18 by knockout. 4th most wins in UFC heavyweight history. Obviously just getting checked over. We are minutes away from this main event. Chat was saying that apparently Lewis has been working on his cardio. I don't know if that, I don't know if that's a mistake. Like, I suppose Dos Santos is going to probably try and keep away from Lewis, I would imagine, or try and take him down. He's got good movement. Is a better wrestler. He's got a lot in his arsenal, Dos Santos, actually. There's a few ways this fight could go. It's very hard to say this is exactly what's going to happen. I mean, Lewis will just be looking for that knockout punch, but very, very interesting. They're just showing the tail of the tape. We've already said Lewis is the heavier. He's got the better reach. See what the chat is saying. Lewis loses Due to being outclassed, Dos Santos finds a way to make big hits on the head of Lewis. Great comment there from Dean Williams. Right, we're at the point where we have got the announcer just announcing both guys. I am so excited for this because I feel like it is a close fight. I know I've said that a few times tonight and then it's turned out to not be a close fight, but I really feel like this one is. Like, literally anything could happen. Anything could happen in this one. It could go down to the ground. Lewis could find that punch. Rear naked choke by Dos Santos. I haven't actually... I don't think... Have they shown the Vegas odds yet? I don't know if I've seen the Vegas odds. Let's have a look. I think they'll show us now. Dos Santos, by the Vegas odds, is the favourite here. Junior Dos Santos is the favourite. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, they're just introducing Junior Dos Santos. People on their feet for this one. People excited for this. Derrick Lewis normally gives you a show. So, Derrick Lewis is the underdog according to the Vegas odds, but there's not going to be much in this. Obviously fighting out of Houston, Texas. They're just introducing him. Lewis with the win in 1:23 seconds with a punch near Dos Santos' temple. I love that. There we go. That is precise. Right, guys, you've got your predictions in. Let's find out, how is this going to go down? I'm not sure I'm expecting an explosive start. Certainly not expecting them to trade strikes. I think Dos Santos will want to try and get Derrick Lewis down as quick as he can. He fires in a big left hand, but it's a swing and a miss by Dos Santos. Dos Santos in the centre of the octagon. Leg kick from Lewis. Dos Santos fires one back in of his own. Lewis just getting a little bit backed up against the cage here. Not exactly what we thought. Not very explosive. Not much in the way of openings for either guy. Went for a kill. Oh, some nice strikes though by Lewis, but he's got some... I think he got caught with the glove. I think there was a glove to the eye for Lewis. He's just asking Herb Dean if everything's all right. It's like an eye poke, actually. He's saying, keep your hand in. I think Santos was saying it's the glove, but it wasn't the glove. I think you could see on the replay that that was like a cheeky little finger poke there from Dos Santos. Commentators saying, look, it is what it is. Both guys, right, in the centre of the octagon here. Lewis coming forward, swing and a miss with the left. Ooh, nice body shot though. Kick from Lewis. Left kick from Lewis, went with a knee as well. I wonder if that was designed to frustrate Lewis, who comes forward with the right. Comes forward with the right. You can see that Dos Santos then concerned, but couldn't really connect it. Didn't really land it. If he had, that could have been the end of it. Dos Santos has got to be so careful. Lewis actually firing in more kicks at the moment than he is jabs, but that's a beautiful overhand right. Lewis! Overhand right from Dos Santos as it was coming in. Bang from Lewis. Didn't really get a great deal on it though, but it was enough to stagger Dos Santos back. This is great action, fascinating action. We're halfway through this first round. We've already had quite a lot of talking points. Oh, Lewis going in, swinging in with that right hand again. Lewis getting backed up a little bit against the cage. He needs to be careful of that. Dos Santos is certainly on the front foot here. But he's got to be so careful. Lewis just keeps firing in. It's been a... He's got to be so careful. Absolutely fascinating. Dos Santos firing in some overhead rights as well. Every time he does fire in that overhead right, though, he's kind of leaving himself exposed. Lewis can kind of come in with that right. And I don't know if that's the smartest strategy, to be honest. Last thing you want to do is leave yourself exposed to a Derrick Lewis right hand. But Dos Santos has done it a few times. Lewis firing in a few kicks. Pace has kind of come out of this. There was a great flurry a couple of minutes ago there. Really great action. Lewis backed up against the cage again as Dos Santos with another overhead right. Every time that comes in, you just feel, oh, spinning power. He connects with the right. Derrick Lewis. Spinning back kick, gets caught in the midsection whilst he was down. Came up with that right. Derrick Lewis is a wounded animal right now. The only thing he's got is that punch. Derrick Lewis is wounded. Shots are getting fired in. He's got his hands up. He needs a bit of offense here, Lewis. That spinning back kick has caused Derrick Lewis problems. That kick to the midsection, I think Lewis could really do with the bell here. He could really do with getting out of this first round. Derrick Lewis taking a big kick to the body, a spinning back kick to the body from Dos Santos. Lewis is backing away. Another couple of kicks coming in as we do get to the end of the first round, and that has winded Derrick Lewis. They're checking on him. But he is in a world of pain there. He's still going to have power in that right hand. His power's not going to go. They're just checking on it now. They're saying to Derrick Lewis, you're going to have to finish this fight. They don't want this to go the distance. Meet him in the middle. We got nothing to lose. Watch that overhand right. That's what they're saying. We've been talking about it all throughout this. It keeps coming over. You do need to be careful, but every time that's coming in from Dos Santos, he is leaving himself vulnerable to the hook or a right jab. That they're showing that spinning back kick. The spinning back kick from Dos Santos. Look at that. It was beautiful as well. Spinning back kick actually drove Derrick Lewis back, and as he was winded, as he was down, Santos came over, bang, Lewis kind of looked like he was playing possum, but he wasn't. He genuinely was wounded, struggled throughout the rest of that round. Fascinating round. Great first round. Absolutely brilliant. We are now into the second round. You can see from a significant strike point of view, Lewis is definitely eating a lot of punishment here. But Derrick Lewis has fired in some big shots. Don't be fooled. Derrick Lewis has fired in some big shots. Absolutely fascinating. Kick from Lewis. Not connecting. They said to Lewis, go into the middle. You've got nothing to lose. He's got to be careful not to charge into it, but he can't really fight from distance. He's not going to want to eat another one of those kicks to the midsection. And he's got Dos Santos from behind. Santos runs away. They go back into the middle. Dos Santos having to retreat then. He was getting clubbed around the head. Oh, head kick from Lewis. That connects. Santos did have his hands up, but he still got something on it. He's charging in. Santos backing away. This has been more aggressive from Lewis. Lewis just looking for that opening, but gets caught. Gets caught. Lewis is up against the cage. Shots being fired in. Lewis goes down. Lewis goes down. The shots raining in from Dos Santos. Dos Santos wins. Dos Santos wins. Wow. Wow. Lewis got sent down. He seemed to be okay, but he was just getting clubbed. He was getting mauled. He was getting overpowered. And shots were just absolutely raining in. And that is a big win for Dos Santos there. Where does Derrick Lewis go from here? Dos Santos beats Derrick Lewis, and you would have to say got the better of him in that first as well. Couple of great strikes from Derrick Lewis, but honestly, Dos Santos just had too much. Look at that. He sends him down all over the place, and then he was on his back firing shots into the head. Beautiful right hand straight down the middle. Seems to have been what did the damage to Lewis, and then just some beautiful follow-up shots. Lewis then all over the place, rocked around, he goes down. Dos Santos straight onto his back, firing the shots into the side of the head. Herb Dean calls it off. Dos Santos, wow. Get the official decision after, but we already know what that is. That was awesome. That was a fantastic fight. Really fascinating first round. Really interesting. A couple of spells there. Certainly that back kick. The spinning back kick that sent Lewis against the cage. Absolutely incredible. And then as he was winded, it looked like he was playing possum. As Dos Santos came forward, Lewis, bang, out of nowhere, swinging out, connecting with that right. Kind of really rocking Dos Santos back and forth. Didn't know which way that first round was going, but you could tell that damage was done. And you could tell that Derrick Lewis wanted to just get to the break. They said to him, you've got to go forward. You need to end this fight. He did come out. He was more aggressive in that second round. But honestly, Dos Santos was the better striker. I mean, Derrick Lewis had the better, obviously, shot. That right hand of Derrick Lewis is legendary. But Dos Santos has got skills. He has got skills to pay the bills. Yeah, just rocked Derrick Lewis. There was nothing Lewis could do. Absolutely incredible. They're just showing an advert for next week. We are back next week. We are back for that Fight Night London. Which should be a really, really good show. It looks like a very good card. Hopefully we hear from Derrick Lewis. I'd like to know what he's got to say. We're definitely going to hear from Dos Santos. That was a really great fight. Really enjoyed that. Couple of matches on tonight's card just didn't really do it. The first fight in particular just wasn't that great. But this main event for me really lived up to expectation. So they're speaking to Dos Santos. There we go. He says he's feeling very good. No surprise there. Picking up a big, big victory. A kick to fat belly, just as I said. It wasn't the kick that put Derrick Lewis away, but it definitely did damage in that first round. He's singing happy birthday to his son now. I just want to hear from Derrick Lewis. I want to know what Derrick Lewis has got to say. I can see people asking for these things to be blocked in the chat. I am blocking, but they're never ending. I'm not sure if we'll ever get on top of them, but I can still see people's comments in the chat regardless. Most wins in UFC heavyweight history. Junior Dos Santos with 15. Again, just waiting to hear from Derrick Lewis. That is a big win for Dos Santos. He says he wants to regain his belt. Yeah, he will move up the ranking, definitely, but will we hear from Derrick Lewis? I certainly hope so. If you have just joined us, the main event has just finished. Dos Santos getting the victory over Derrick Lewis. Santos went into this as favourite. Headshots. Okay, so a little mention there of Brock Lesnar there. The commentator's saying obviously Cormier's the champion. Brock Lesnar apparently is lurking. I'm not sure Brock Lesnar lurks, but they seem to be implying that Brock Lesnar's certainly still an option, but Dos Santos has put his name in that conversation. I really don't think Dos Santos is much of a match for Cormier, though. I really don't think... I don't know if that's a fight I would really want to see. But who knows how many more fights Cormier's got. Cormier said that he doesn't want to fight for too much longer. It could be that we get Cormier against Brock, Cormier against John Jones, and then maybe he walks away. Every chance Dos Santos, if he keeps picking up victories, could end up getting his title back. So, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. You can see at the bottom all the people that have won on the main card. I can tell you that Price probably picking up the moment of the night. Although saying that Derrick Lewis stoppage would have to be right up there. But Price with a fantastic right hand taking out Means. Really, Price was on the back foot as well. And that was a first round knockout, a first round stoppage for Price. Probably the moment of the night. And even the commentators saying maybe the best round of 2019. So really great fight. And as we said, you can see all the winners streaming along the bottom. That Ivanov victory, that was a real shock. Right, Ivanov against Rothwell. A lot of people thought Rothwell got the better of that fight. He definitely was on the front foot. He landed more significant strikes, but it was a unanimous decision for Ivanov. So real surprise there. Yeah, overall, really enjoyable show. As we said, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe because we are back tomorrow. For those of you that watch WWE, we've got our last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Of course, WrestleMania is next month, and we will be covering that. And we're covering their final pay-per-view show before WrestleMania, which takes place tomorrow, Fastlane. But for UFC fans, we will be back next week for that fantastic Fight Night London card, which looks like it should be a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Really do appreciate the support. If you enjoyed this, as I said, hit that subscribe, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.